Yes, some people will agree with you and say, oh, you should stand up against that, but there'll be a whole bunch of other people that don't agree with you. Be manly and the legends of humanity. Welcome to the fellowship of honourable men and women role models for boys and men, because you have the power to be a man in all its glory. Damien Andrews here for Be Manly and the Legends of Humanity, making things go viral on the social media, the interwebs, whatever you want to call it, the .coms. How does that happen? Why do things go viral? Why do things go, get so many million views and hits and all that kind of stuff? Generally, it really comes down to being popular. What makes something popular? Now, this is where it's really interesting from a psychological point of view. When we're talking about being manly and being intelligent, we go, well, we want to stand up against something. We want something not to be seen. We want to, if someone makes a post or something and we disagree with that, so we get all emotional about it and we put our 2 cents in and we make a comment saying, how dare you say that? And all sorts of other stuff like that goes out there that people make comments on. What that does is it actually shows popularity in that comment. So you might be thinking, I'm going to stand up against it, but the algorithm doesn't know what you say, nor does it care. All it cares is that you've shown interest. And by showing interest, it then makes that more popular. It sends it to more people's feed. And you go, yes, some people will agree with you and say, oh, you should stand up against that, but there'll be a whole bunch of other people that don't agree with you as well. And this was really well put just recently by a brigadier from the Ukrainian army who made a post, and I'll cut the little segment in to this video where he talks about, so we'll cut that in now. Ready, set, go. So be careful. If you do not have anything to say on the case, better to be silent or write words of support. All these people need your support. Don't behave like jackals. Don't be harsh on our people. It's hard for the soldiers. It's hard for soldiers, but they are fighting. They are recovering metre by metre of our land. Help or be silent. Thank you. What he talks about is, what he talked about in there, as you saw, was he was saying where you don't agree with something or where there's a negative comment or anything like that, what he's saying is don't say anything. Because if you don't say anything, if you don't make a comment on social media, it will be less popular and therefore won't go into other people's feeds. This is a really highly intelligent, high emotional cue thing to be able to do, to look at something, and when someone, in everyday life, when someone says something that you disagree with, the more you argue with them, the more attention that you're bringing to that. And it's not going to go away the more you argue with it. Let it go, move on. And as they pointed out, like the things and say the things that you stand up for. So rather than arguing with a person about their point of view, you actually talk about things from your point of view and say, well, this is what I think it should be. Not you're wrong, this is the perspective I'm putting forward. That's the argument you have. That's the statements that you make. Rather than arguing and bringing attention to their point of view, and this happens a lot in politics. You see that all the time where they bring attention to the other person's politics, and it draws that attention to them. So really what you want to be doing is use that emotional intelligence that you have and look at what's being put out there. Think about what you're doing in response. Are you bringing more attention to it or to something that you don't want? Because if you're bringing more attention to it, then you're actually promoting it. As they say in marketing, there is no such thing as bad publicity, and that's correct. The more attention you bring to a topic, the more it goes viral, the more people that do like it, that may not have heard about it, hear about it. So just be mindful of that whenever you're, certainly on social media, whenever you're commenting or standing up against something that you see as unjust, you're actually bringing more attention to it if you make a comment on it. So the intelligent thing, the emotionally intelligent thing to do, control your emotions to start with, and then think about it. Am I going to be drawing more attention to this? If you are, if you're making a comment, you are drawing more attention to it. maybe it's better to make some other post or stand up for something that you actually want. So stand up for something that you want, not stand against something that you're against. Two different things. It seems like it's the same, but they're very, very different. This is Damien Andrews for Be Manly and the Legends of Humanity. Before you go, you're invited to continue the Be Manly and the Legends of Humanity journey. Subscribe to our YouTube and become a patron, where you can become a courageous crusader, a wise warrior, a daring dynamo, and even an ascending avenger. Here you'll find all the tools to become a man in all its glory. We're honored to walk side by side with you on this extraordinary adventure. Together, we're unleashing the full power of manhood, creating a better world for everyone.